Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Modern Horizons 2 draft video. We will be taking Subtlety, because as I recall, Subtlety is worth something. Well, it's actually only worth 4 tickets. That's surprising, considering it was like a 30-ticket card. In that case, I might actually take Unholy Heat. I mean, it is a flash flyer. Yeah, alright, I need it. Unholy Heat probably would have a higher win percentage because I think it goes in more decks, but we'll take Subtlety because I still need to work on a playset, and it technically costs money. Okay, so what do we take for our next pick? There are no good blue cards in this pack. Ravenous Squirrel does form into an archetype. It's not an archetype I'm particularly good at. Terramorph also kind of fits in its own archetype. Kitchen Imp is one of the best madness enablers. I think I'm going to take the Squirrel. Okay. Third pick, I'm definitely taking Dragon's Rage Channeler. It's probably the card that is best in this pack by far. Arcbound Shikari, it's arguable. If you've already got a bunch of cheap artifact like Arcbound creatures, it's fantastic. But if you don't, it's kind of bad. We'll take the Channeler. Maybe we end up playing Delirium anyway. I wish I had the Unholy Heat, because Unholy Heat plus Dragon's Rage Channeler makes your deck really good, especially in Limited. I'm sorry for the lack of constructed video. I am so mentally exhausted right now that, like, playing draft like this is actually comforting to me. I know people want to see constructed videos. I know a lot of people are tired of Modern Horizons. But, like, to me, it actually is a bit of a comfort to be playing this format because I've done it so much. It's always a little bit different. It's always fun for me. Even when I'm like losing terribly, I'm enjoying myself usually. So I am going to take the Hard Evidence over the Manticore here. Obviously, I would like a Manticore, but I don't think we'll be playing the Squirrel. Captain Vance is quite good. I will take a Captain Vance. Especially if you have a bunch of 1-drops. If you can just like play 3 1-drops, or play a 1-drop, play Captain, and play a 1-drop, then you can trigger the Captain immediately at 5 mana. I think the power of Subtlety in this format is going to be actually casting it as a 4-drop, not evoking it basically ever, unless for some reason that would win us the game. Because either forcing our opponent to have to redraw a threat they really want, or denying them that threat while getting a flash flyer onto the board seems good. I'm still sort of wishing it was an Unholy Heat right now. I was not aware that Subtlety had dropped that much in price prior to starting this league. I will take the Lash Claw here. I love Braids. Absolutely love Braids. This is not the deck for that. Although it does go with the Squirrel. We've not seen enough support for that. I could take Brainstone. It does technically sacrifice itself. It's an artifact. It helps build Delirium. I could take Lose Focus or Step Through. We currently don't have any wizards, do we? Nope. And it is double blue. I think I'm going to take Brainstone, because Brainstone and Dragon's Rage Channeler does seem like a little bit of a combo. I don't like Shattered Ego that much. I will take Rustvale Bridge. It's possible we splash like a Foundry Helix with it. It just being a like tapped mountain that is also an artifact helps for Delirium purposes. The other problem is passing cards like Unholy Heat tells your neighbors when you're drafting. It's a very strong signal that, hey, I'm not going to be drafting Delirium. And so if you're not careful, you could wind up in a situation where you get the people next to you drafting the deck you want to be drafting. So there's a Foundry Helix. We do have 2 white lands. This is basically free to splash, and it's a pretty good instant, so I'm going to take it. I will take a Lose Focus. I generally do not like playing counter spells in this deck, but I'll put a Tide Shaper in the sideboard that could be useful versus like a 5-colorish deck. I think I would rather have an Angelic Curator than a Phantasmal Dreadmaw, and a card we're not going to play with Rebound. Although, that card with Rebound does actually generate some advantage if we have like a bunch of Dragon's Rage Channelers. We can dump stuff in the grave. So let's see. Our options are Riptide Laboratory, Foundry Helix number 2, Faithless Salvaging, or Constable. We have no wizards, so I think I'm going to take the Foundry Helix and hope the Riptide Laboratory wheels. If we can take the if we can find any of the good wizards, the Revolutionist or the Giant Riptide Laboratory becomes amazing. Problem is, well, I guess I'm passing the other way around the table. Riptide Lab is probably going to get taken. Okay, so we got a couple of options here. We got a Misty Rainforest, which does help with Delirium. Misty Rainforest, the Modern Horizons 2 printing is 4 tickets. Prismatic Ending is a sorcery that we can cast early, and we do have the colors to splash to cast it. I think we got to take the Prismatic Ending just because of the power level of the card and the fact that we don't have that many sorceries. Like, we have a Hard Evidence, but Ending seems better. He says immediately getting more sorceries. Kaleidoscorch is another great burn spell. It's fantastic because we are going to be playing at least 3 colors. I'm sad to pass the Silver Bluff bridges that I have been, but I'm fine with that. This is a late Unholy Heat. I'm pretty happy with that. Unfortunately, this is not a deck that will ever be able to play Piru, but we'll take an Unholy Heat. I will take another Rustvale Bridge. The more of these I get, the easier it is to cast the spells with white that I have. They basically become closer and closer to free. Harmonic Prodigy is insane, especially with Dragon's Rage Channeler. Wow. So we passed all the Delirium stuff one way, and then the people to our left are passing some pretty insane Delirium stuff our way. I really want to take Suspend. This card can let you do some pretty insane shenanigans. It might be better to take Revolutionist, but with Suspend, it really synergizes with the Prowess card that we've got, the Dragon's Rage Channeler, and Captain Vance, of course. This card can also be used to protect your creature if it's a creature you absolutely need. It is a rare, so I guess I'll take it. Okay, so we can take a Gouged Zealot, or we can take another Hard Evidence. We can also take a Fast and Furious. I'm kind of leaning towards Gouged Zealot here, but Hard Evidence, it's going to be a harder card to find, I think, and the cheaper this deck is, the better it's going to be. Riptide Laboratory came all the way around. That's fantastic. I'm actually quite low on creatures. I'm going to take this Raving Visionary, not Raging. Aeromoeba is fine. Gorilla Shaman for the sideboard. So for pack 3, we're really looking for creatures. I will take a Vidalcan Infiltrator for that reason. We do have a lot of artifact tap lands, so it's not impossible we turn it on. Floodhound, I guess, can be an emergency creature. We put it in the sideboard. The Phantom, the Force Tug. I am controlling Porter's head with the Force, but he is winning. No! Porter, come here. I love you. Go get it. He's a wonderful animal. Oh, wow. We get Yusri in the same pack as another Unholy Heat. Well, we've got to take Yusri because we need creatures, but I am so sad to see this in the same pack. Especially because we just passed it to the guy that we originally passed an Unholy Heat to. Okay. So there's a Scuttletide, a Battle Plan. Search the Premises, I don't think is actually a card. Not for us, anyway. I could take Sojourner's Companion. It does have artifact land cycling, so I could go get a Rustvale Bridge off of it while putting artifact and creature into the grave. And it is a creature. The alternative would be Patchwork Gnomes, which would be reasonable if we got anything with Madness this pack. I think this is actually better, so I'm going to take the Patchwork Gnomes. Alright. I can get behind a second Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's pretty good. Double Dragon's Rage Channeler is very strong in a limited deck. General Ferris Rockrick with 3 multicolor spells already in the deck on color. Absolutely. This deck just went from okay to amazing. In 2 picks. In 2 picks, we get a second copy of our best card and another card that incredibly synergizes with our deck. Okay, so Sweep the Skies would be okay. It does help with our creature situation. Faithless Salvaging synergizes with the Dragon's Rage Channelers, of course, and Captain Vance. We have no Madness cards. Drossforge Bridge powers up Kaleidoscorch. We have 23 playable cards. I think it's got to be Sweep the Skies. So I'm going to take Sweep the Skies. There's been a couple of times that I've played against Sweep the Skies that's I literally don't have a way to answer that many creatures. There's been other times where I've had the Delirium Cyclops, and it's like, all right, that's fine. Glimpse of Tomorrow, a third Hard Evidence, or a Chrome Courier. Honestly, I'm leaning towards Chrome Courier because Chrome Courier is a creature. It's multicolor for Rockrick. It's card advantage. Hard Evidence is good, but I don't know if I want a third one before a Chrome Courier. Okay, Blacksmith Skill is fun. Lightning Spear might be the way we gotta go, though. I think, like, damage-based removal is some of the best in this type of deck. Yeah, I'm going to take the Spear. It also does put an artifact in the grave, which I don't think is going to be very difficult with this deck, but you never know, I guess. Playing Tug of War! Sometimes I have to do this because he gets rowdy when I'm recording. Sometimes he'll be, like, dead asleep on his bed right there, and, like, I'll be quiet, I'll be at my computer, and then as soon as I say, good morning, everybody, he just, like, gets up, he's like, oh, it's time to play? Cool, perfect. He did it again. He responded to that. You saw him lay down as I was talking, and then he brings the toy back as soon as I do the intro. He thinks that means playtime. You little jerk. I'm trying to get stuff done. So we can take Flame Blitz to cycle an enchantment into the grave because we don't really have any enchantments. That's probably better than Diamond Lion. I've got to take Aeromoeba, because we just need more creatures. Battle Plan or Arcbound Tracker. I may want the Battle Plan for the basic land cycling. I don't know if I'm going to play it, though. We'll see. We have decent fixing. So we'll take a Knighted Mirror. I guess an Abiding Grace might be cool. Steelfin Whale for the sideboard. Guardian Kirin technically is on color. And a Lose Focus for the side. Okay. So, let's take the lands out for a second. We didn't get any of the wizards, so we're probably not playing Riptide Lab. Hard Evidence is kind of a creature. Sweep the Skies is kind of a creature. Viashino Lashclaw actually strikes me as pretty bad, because we have no Madness cards. I don't like Lose Focus in this deck. This deck is very much going to be proactive. I think we can probably get rid of Brainstone because we have enough other artifacts in the deck that we can probably finagle one into the grave. Flame Blitz I am going to keep, even though it's effectively just a Think Twice. It puts an enchantment in the grave, and I've got a feeling that we might have difficulty getting other card types into the grave for Delirium Payoff on Dragon's Rage Channeler, which I think is our only actual Delirium Payoff. So maybe it's not as important, but we are going to be playing basically a Jeskai Tempo list here. And I really like our non-creature spells, so the next couple of cards I cut need to be creatures. Vidalcan Infiltrator is not going to be that difficult to turn on the artifacts for because we have 3 artifact lands, we have a 2-mana artifact equipment, and we have a couple of 3-mana artifact cards. I don't want to cut any of the multicolor cards because of Rockrick. I think they're all going to be required in order to win. Arcbound Tracker is probably our worst creature, maybe Chrome Courier, but I'm going to drop the Tracker, even though I was just explaining how I kind of wanted to keep artifacts in the deck. I still think we have enough. It's going to be fine, because we can even get some clue tokens and such. And then I need to cut one more card, and it could be Guardian Kirin. Raving Visionary is a lot worse without Madness cards, but it's a decent way to filter away like lands you don't need or cards you don't need. And it lets us kind of control what's in our hand until we get Delirium, at which point it just becomes a 3-mana draw card every turn. I'm going to cut the Kirin. Add in the Rustvale Bridges. 5/5 and 3. Well, we have a lot of red. We have 2 double blue cards. I think I want to drop 1 Plains for 1 more island. Does that make sense to do it that way? Yeah, I think I want 6 islands here. 5 plains should be enough because we never need white before turn 3. All right, I'll see you guys in round 1. All right, no red mana in our opener here. 1 blue, we've got a Vidalcan Infiltrator, a Suspend. If we draw red, we have Kaleidoscorch. We're on the draw. I think we can do better because we have so many powerful early game cards. Yeah, this is better. We're going to keep. I'm going to put back Aeromoeba. We can lead on Hard Evidence, play Harmonic Prodigy on turn 2. There's some notion that maybe we should keep hard evidence to trigger prowess, but... Okay, Prismatic Ending is not currently a card. Lead on hard evidence, pass the turn. Opponent plays a forest, we draw an island. Play a mountain, play Harmonic Prodigy, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, they play an island. They play a Burdened Aerialist. We untap. We draw Rustvale Bridge. Play Rustvale Bridge. Pass the turn. So we're probably going to sack a clue to draw a card. We might suspend something, though that is probably unlikely. Unfortunately, there's no good target to attack into that Burdened Aerialist and suspend to trigger prowess to kill the Aerialist. Opponent plays a Tireless Provisioner. So that Provisioner is getting ended. Like 100%. They play a land, they get a treasure. Opponent goes to combat and passes. Stop on their end step. Sack a clue to draw. We get a mountain. Untap. We draw Sweep the Skies. Play an island. Prismatic Ending the Tireless Provisioner. Prowess trigger. Go to combat. Attack for 2. No blocks for the opponent. They take 2. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Opponent 6 mana. They sacked a treasure for an Orchard Strider. They get some food. They sack a treasure for green. They Abundant Harvest for a Fey Offering. They go to combat. Attack for 3. No blocks. Take 3, go to 17. Untap. We draw Vidalcan Infiltrator. Play an island. Sweep the Skies. Make a bunch of flyers. The question is, do I want to suspend that Orchard Strider and go aggro? And I think the answer is no, because of how much life my opponent's going to gain. Like, they can gain 6 life next turn. Yeah, I think we're going to have to wait for, like, a Foundry Helix. This opponent's probably going to play Fey Offering here. They play Jewel-Eyed Cobra. They have a land. And they play Fey Offering, which is going to give them a food, a clue, and a treasure. We could trade with Harmonic Prodigy, 2 Thopters, and another Thopter here. But we would have to suspend the Jewel-Eyed Cobra to do it, and our opponent's going to start drawing a bunch of cards. I think we got to trade a Thopter, but I think that's it. So opponent passes. Fey Offering triggers. I get a bunch of stuff. We untap. We draw plains. Play a plains. Play an Infiltrator. And go to combat. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat. Okay, block with a crab. Trade with a cobra. They get a treasure. They play another Orchard Strider. Oh my gosh, okay. So we untap, get a Chrome Courier, play the Courier, Lightning Spear or Dragon's Rage Channeler. Take a Lightning Spear, play a Mountain, play the Spear, Prowess trigger, I guess. Equip to the Infiltrator, because that can get in without being blocked anyway. Hit our opponent for 3, they go to 15. Opponent sacks a treasure, draws a card. They untap, they play Hard Evidence, they get a crab and a clue, they sack the clue to draw, they play a forest, they go to combat, attack us for 12. Going to 2 has got to be a death sentence, right? They're sitting at a virtual 21, which we are very far off of dealing that much damage. Alright, no blocks. Go to 2. Untap. We draw Raving Visionary. So play the Visionary, go to combat, attack for 3. Opponent goes down to 12, pass the turn. So we're going to set up to start drawing some extra cards, but I think it's going to be too late. I mean, we do have Foundry Helixes, and we do have Rockrick, so like if we hold out long enough, that's maybe it works. 5 mana, opponent plays a Wave Sifter. Get some clues. They go to combat. They attack and attack. So block, block. We're blocking just in case they have like a hexproof trick or something. Suspend. Doing this to get an instant into the grave. Damage. Lightning Spear. Kill the 6/4. I might have actually needed to kill the Wave Sifter, but... Untap. We draw a mountain. Let's go ahead and loot. Or actually just draw Rustvale Bridge. Okay, play it. Pass the turn. We can attack for 2 here, because they can't block. But opponent will be able to just gain the life back or draw a card. They draw a card. They tap our flyer, and that's the game. Alright, so opponent is going to take over the game if they go late. This might be the situation where we actually need the counter spells, because the only way that we have to answer a lot of those is to counter them, basically. So I'm going to bring in the Lose Focuses, and I'm going to bring in the Gorilla Shaman, because they have so many like token generating effects. We can actually use the Gorilla Shaman to like destroy a bunch of foods. And in that case, I think what I'm going to do is drop an Aeromoeba, drop the Visionary because it's going to be too slow, and I want to cut the Patchwork Gnomes, but I don't think that's correct. We might need to cut Sweep the Skies. I think I'm just going to bring in 1 Lose Focus. Alright, I'll play first. Well, we've got Dragon's Rage Channeler turn 1, so we're going to keep it. We draw any land in this hand is good. Play a mountain, play the Channeler, pass the turn. Opponent leads on an island, passes, we draw. Another Dragon's Rage Channeler, play an island, go to combat, attack for 1, take him to 19, play a second Channeler, Plains, Island, or Mountain. Any of them are good. Opponent plays a forest and passes. We draw Rockrick, which is none of the above, go to combat, attack for 2, opponent goes to 17, pass the turn, opponent plays an island into a Burdened Aerialist. Come on. Not a land. Pass the turn. I'm unwilling to trade my top deck manipulation right now. Opponent plays a land, plays another Burdened Aerialist, gets a treasure. Opponent no attacks. They need the treasure for something. Well, we draw a Lose Focus, which is unlikely to do a lot, but it's at least something we can play to try and dig for a land. Hopefully they play something we can counter. Opponent sacks a treasure for blue, gives both the Aerialists flying. They're going to play a Wave Sifter. Well, they won't be able to pay for this. Lose Focus. Creature into the grave, even though it's one we can cast because we really need a land. Flame Blitz into the grave. We are a card type away from attacking with 3/3s. Opponent hits us for 6. If we could draw Plains off the top, it'd be amazing. Untap. We draw a mountain. That can work. So we play a mountain, and we're probably not going to be casting a lot of spells. So we need to play Usury here. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Hit our opponent down to 15. They untap. 6 mana. Opponent plays an Orchard Strider. Gets a bunch of food. Oh, do we trade here? I mean, that guarantees we hit them in the air for 6. I'm going to trade. That's a big risk. We untap. We draw an island. So we can at least play Sweep the Skies. Oh no, that was a creature. I already had a creature in the grave. I don't have a sorcery, so I can play Sweep the Skies now. And that gives me some blockers. Actually, hang on. I forgot that it's not the X cost that matters, it's the color spent. So go digging. Gorilla Shaman into the grave. Oh my god, suspend into the grave. Where are my lands? Go to combat. Attack them for 6. Opponent goes to 9, they untap. 3 mana. Opponent so shinies a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Well, that is a permanent we can now sack to Foundry Helix. I wouldn't be surprised if they left Burden Aerialist on defense and just attacked with Orchard Strider. Because, like, we'd have to block. They play a Glimmer Baron. Nope, they're going to attack and attack. Chump, chump. Well, chump trade, actually. But we untap. We draw a Lightning Spear. Play Captain Vance. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Take them to 6. They untap. They play a Tireless Provisioner, play an island. They get a treasure. Then they play a Jewel-Eyed Cobra. If we draw exactly a plains, they lose. So we gotta block the Glimmer Baron. If we draw any untapped land, they lose. Because we'll have 3 damage off of the Spear or the Foundry Helix. Untap. We draw an island. Play an island. Go to combat. Attack for 3 in the air. Nothing they have has reach. They can't sack any foods. Hit them to 3. Second main. Play Spear. Mountain into the grave. Island into the grave. I can't believe we got there. No white mana, 3 white cards in hand. I guess maybe that's a reason I should be playing another Plains, but I really think between the hard evidences, the top deck manipulation off the Dragon's Rage Channeler, and the fact that we don't play any white cards till turn 3 or later means that 5 white sources is fine. Maybe I don't need this many red sources, because I have 3 red duels. I have no double red, but if I don't get red, it's worse. Alright, we're just going to run it back. So this is that thing that I was talking about, where how if we don't get red mana, we're basically going to lose. Alright, we'll keep putting back an island. So we're going to lead on Dragon's Rage Channeler, follow up with Gorilla Shaman, tap land. Opponent leads on Glimmer Baron. We draw plains. So play a mountain, play a Channeler. Opponent untaps. If they make tokens this turn but can't use them in any way, we'll play Gorilla Shaman in an untapped land and play the tap land next turn. They hit us for 1, we go to 19. They play a Squirrel Sanctuary. Alright, we untap. We draw another mountain. That is not what I wanted to see. Play a tap land, play Gorilla Shaman, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Opponent plays a Burdened Aerialist, attacks us for 1. We'll take 1. They did not sack the treasure. We untap. We draw Flame Blitz. So, cycle Flame Blitz. We're probably just going to play a land and then hit the treasure. So play an island, destroy the treasure, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. We're not going to be able to keep up with them making extra tokens, so we're just going to trade here. This is going to get a creature into the grave. We're going to Kaleidoscorch to deal with the Provisioner, and then if we can surveil something that isn't a enchantment, creature, or sorcery into the grave, then we're good to go. Oh, we get double. We get actually 2 looks at the surveil here. So play a mountain, play the Harmonic Prodigy, then Kaleidoscorch. So this causes Dragon's Rage Channeler to trigger twice. So we surveil. Sorcery into the grave. Surveil again. That is a creature we will not be able to cast, so it's got to go in the grave. Prowess trigger, kill that. They can't pay mana for Squirrel Sanctuary because they don't have mana. Go to combat. Attack for 1. It's kind of awkward how we hit both of our double blue cards on that double surveil. So next turn, depending on what happens, we might be able to Kaleidoscorch a creature. Opponent so shinies. Tap the Harmonic Prodigy. Okay, they attack us for 2. We take 2. Go to 14, untap. Draw an island. Awkward. Play an island. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Hit them to 18. Then play Aeromoeba. Threatening Suspend. Pass the turn. So opponent plays Hard Evidence, cracks the clue to draw, plays an island. So we're going to block here, which is going to force them to sack the crab. They have to sack the crab and the squirrel if they want to kill it, but that's fine because it takes away like all of their possible pressure. A lot of ours too, but now we can kill it with Kaleidoscorch. They can pick up Squirrel Sanctuary then, but this gives us another top deck look here, another couple of top deck looks. Whoop. We want to make sure it's 3, though. So Kaleidoscorch, Surveil, Artifact Creature into the grave, Surveil again, Captain Vance I will leave on top. It's a pretty decent creature. Okay, they can pay 1 to pick up Squirrel Sanctuary. Problem is Captain Vance is probably not going to ever trigger. It's just going to be a 3/2 for 3. Attack for 3. Hit our opponent down to 5. Play a Plains. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Squirrel Sanctuary. They get a squirrel. They have another So Shiny. Wonderful. Okay. We untap. Draw Captain Vance. Play Captain Vance. Pass the turn. So opponent plays a land into a Wave Sifter. Get some clues. So we need to like chain hard evidence into something in order to have a real shot of doing anything here. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent might trade, because they're probably going to play the long game. But we either have to take the trade or deal the damage here. Okay. Play a mountain. Pass the turn. I mean, the more mana we get, the more chance we can play like hard evidence, cantrip, draw another 1-drop, play it, and like maybe chain spells until we can cast 3 in a single turn. Okay, Junk Winder is a big issue. I basically have to draw Unholy Heat to kill that. Foundry Helix, that does not really change a lot. I can trade Ripley Vance and the Foundry Helix and like the Rustvale Bridge to kill Junk Winder. Go to combat. If their last card can make a token at instant speed, we are so screwed. Attack for 3. Okay, opponent does not block. They go to 9. Okay, they pass. I mean, like, maybe we have enough burn to kill them. If they don't make any tokens, they only have 9 damage on board. We would go to 1. So opponent goes to combat. Attacks for 9. We take 9 and go to 1. Like, we do have direct damage we could draw. Okay, Jewel-Eyed Cobra is pretty bad. And a Chatterstorm. Okay, so they can Frost, Ripley Vance. Yep. So if we got hard evidence, cycled the hard evidence into another Foundry Helix, we could kill our opponent. But it's got to be... No, we would be 1 mana off of being able to do that. Okay, General Rockrick might be something that can get us out of this. Possibly. So play Rockrick and pass the turn. Opponent's going to cycle a clue. They untap. They draw. No, it doesn't matter. Oh, that's unfortunate. Would have drawn an Infiltrator. Yeah. That is unfortunate. It was close, but not close enough. I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, we're on the draw for round 2. This hand is awful. This hand is somewhat reasonable. I'm going to put back the Infiltrator and keep this. Any land gets us to Foundry Helix. An island gets us to a Raving Visionary. So lead on Rustvale Bridge, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Swamp into a Raving Visionary. We untap and draw a second Channeler. Play Channeler, play Bridge, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a Scuttletide and a Swamp. Does not attack. We untap, draw an Aeromoeba, play a Plains, play a Channeler, and pass the turn. We really need to draw an island. If we can cast Suspend and Foundry Helix in the same turn, we are 100% guaranteed to turn on Delirium. And I'm not opposed to suspending a Crab because they're not going to get to recast a token. Okay, opponent plays a Swamp. They loot with the Visionary. Madnessing a Necrogoyf. Okay, this at least helps us turn on Delirium. And we can Foundry Helix to kill Necrogoyf. Yeah, actually, we're fine. So we can untap, discard Aeromoeba, Foundry Helix, and that gets Artifact, Instants, Land, and Creature into the grave. And then lets us manipulate our top deck. We can do all of that on our upkeep before we draw to try and dig ourselves to an island for Suspend. That's pretty sick. Okay, so discard Aeromoeba, Foundry Helix, sacking a bridge, Surveil, Harmonic Prodigy. We gotta put it in the grave. We need an island. There's an island. Draw an island. Play an island. Go to combat. Attack for 6. Because we have to. Pass the turn. I could even suspend my own creature to blank removal if I needed to. Opponent draws and ditches a swamp. Plays an island. Plays a Vermin Gorger. They were thinking about doing something and changed their mind. We untap. We draw Prismatic Ending. So Prismatic Ending the Vermin Gorger. So they can't gain life. More Surveils. They make a Crab. Ditching their last swamp. Sweep the Skies into the grave. We can't cast it. Rustvale Bridge. We can do better. Go to combat. Attack for 6. Because if we get a Foundry Helix or something, we can just end the game. Opponent now has a top deck and a loot to try and find something. Opponent untaps and draws. They play a Burdened Aerialist. Then loot in response to the... Okay. They make a treasure. They pass. We untap. We draw Kaleidoscorch. Oh, man. That's lethal, isn't it? We just suspend. Foundry Helix on top. Foundry Helix on top. Go to combat. Attack for 6. Hit them to 2. And then Kaleidoscorch for lethal. That is like our best possible draw. Put it back on top. Put it back on top. Just smack, 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 burn spell. 3-turn lethal. So opponent is a slower deck. We may want the lose focus because of that. Maybe this is the league that redeems lose focus for me. Maybe that's better than Sweep the Skies here. I mean, maybe not, but it's possible, so try running it like this. Alright, well there is a curve here. It's not a great one, but it is a curve. We draw a Rustvale Bridge, so lead on island, hard evidence, pass the turn. Opponent plays a swamp, plays a Vermingorger. We untap, draw another mountain, play a mountain, play Infiltrator, pass the turn. Opponent plays an Ethereum Spinner, then passes. We untap and draw a Foundry Helix. Kind of regretful that we can't play it this turn, but let's cycle a Flame Blitz, play a tap land, pass the turn. Now we can play Patchwork Gnomes, which lets us attack with Vidalcan Infiltrator. Opponent plays a Raving Visionary and a Scuttletide. They're almost out of cards in hand. We draw Harmonic Prodigy, play a mountain, play the gnomes, go to combat, attack for 2, hit them to 18, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Looks like they're going to loot with Visionary. Okay, they play a land, play Loathsome Curator, triggering the spinner. Well, that's going to kill the Infiltrator for sure. Now they sack the Thopter, kill the Infiltrator. Not much we can do about that. Opponent no attacks. We untap. Draw another Rustvale Bridge. Play the bridge. Kill the Curator, sacking a bridge. Okay. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. I should not be auto-yielded with a creature that has a regenerate ability. They loot. They play a second Ethereum Spinner. That is potentially really dangerous. That's a lot of tokens. They pass to us. We draw Chrome Courier. Play the Courier. I guess I'll take a lose focus, play a mountain, play a prodigy, and pass the turn. The longer this game goes, the better it is for my opponent, because in theory they have a better top end than we do. Yep, okay. They have 1,000,000 tokens now. They can just drain us out with this Vermingorger unless we do something about it. Opponent passes, we draw. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay. So, play the Channeler. I'm actually going to sack the Clue here. We get an island. Play an island, because that does change what we're able to cast. Pass the turn. Problem is this Dragon's Rage Channeler might just be attacking into a bunch of Thopters that can kill it. They sack a token and drain us. They untap. They loot. Ditching an Archfiend of Sorrow. Unearth is an activated ability, not something we can counter. Dang, okay. So opponent goes to combat. Attacks for a lot. No blocks. We go to 3. So they sack the Archfiend, we go to 1, and we have to draw a removal or we lose. And I'm pretty sure we lose anyway. Yep, okay. So we need a faster start than that. I mean, like, Gorilla Shaman only destroys non-creature artifacts. I think we just run it back. Alright, I'll play first. Alright, it's a hand. There's a lot of good top decks. A lot of good top decks. We can cast any card in our deck if we top deck it. So play a mountain, play Dragon's Rage Channeler, pass the turn. Auto plays a swamp. We untap and draw a Lightning Spear. Play an island. Play Lightning Spear, surveil. Second Dragon's Rage Channeler, put on top. Hit him for 1. Opponent untaps. They play an island. They play a Clattering Augur. We untap, we draw Dragon's Rage Channeler. Play an island. Play Dragon's Rage Channeler. Equip. Hit them for 2. Opponent untaps. They do... Now they're attacking. Okay. No blocks. They play a Raving Visionary. We untap. We draw a Mountain. So we could kill the Visionary this turn if we wanted. I mean, otherwise they're just going to block with it. It does provide a lot of card selection if we don't deal with it. I think we do it. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Take our opponent to 14. Play a Plains. Pass the turn. If this is Vermin Gorger, it's worse for us than that Raving Visionary would have been. They basic land cycle World Weary to get an island. They play an island. They attack us for 1. We untap. We draw a Raving Visionary. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Opponent takes 2. Play a Mountain. Play Rockrick. Playing around lose focus. Counterspell, though, does get it. That is unfortunate. Play Raving Visionary. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Specimen Collector. Makes a bunch of tokens. Attacks us for 1. We'll take 1. We untap. Draw Patchwork Gnomes, loot, ditch a land, play an Aeromoeba. I could ditch this Patchwork Gnomes now to hit them for 6, and I'm going to... No, because I have an artifact and a creature in the grave. Never mind. Kano read the cards. Unbelievable. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Altar of the Goyf and attacks among all cards in all graveyards. Wow. I didn't actually realize... that counted all graveyards. Take 6. We untap. We draw a Foundry Helix, and I'm pretty sure that kills our opponent, right? Because we Foundry Helix them. That takes them to 8. Instant artifact creature land. Surveil. They have no flying blockers. Artifact land into the grave. Surveil. Harmonic Prodigy into the grave. Go to combat. Attack for 8. Alright, we got him! Dragon's Rage Channelers OP! Double Darcy! See you guys in round 3. Alright, we'll be on the draw for round 3, and unfortunately, even though we have Rockrick and a multicolor spell in our hand, we will not be keeping this hand. Actually, maybe we should, because we have Vidalcan Infiltrator and Aeromoeba, stuff that we can like potentially play. I guess I keep this. We need to have some good top decks, though, for it to be good. They probably won't expect a Boros card out of a mono-blue deck. When it leads on a Plains, after mulliganing to 6, we draw another Foundry Helix past the turn. Someone's playing on a bot account, Moto Bazaar 4. I say bot account as in, like, this is obviously someone's trading bot. Not like a bot for the game. Opponent plays a Plains. They play an Arcbound Tracker. We untap. We draw an Unholy Heat. Play a Rustvale Bridge. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Power Depot. And a Mere Scrappling. And a Mere Scrappling. Alright. I need to draw red mana, red mana. I guess just one red mana is technically enough. We're not blocking because we would lose our guy. Okay, we draw Plains. Play a Plains. Play Rockrick. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a land. They're casting their last card in hand. Guardian Kirin. Attack for 5, no blocks. I'm really hoping we draw red mana because if we can Foundry Helix and Unholy Heat what they modular onto, we're basically golden. Okay, play a Mountain. Let me think. So if I try and Foundry Helix the Arcbound Tracker, they can just put 2 counters on it. If I try and Foundry Helix the Guardian Kirin, they can put 2 counters on it by proxy of just putting counters on anything else. I think we pass and just do everything at instant speed. Opponent untaps. They go to combat. They attack, attack, and attack. Block here. They're going to put a counter on it. So, attempt to kill it in response. Okay, they're going to let that happen. Now they modular there. So that's going to get real big. They can put 2 counters here, or a counter there and a counter there. Which means I need to do this now. And I need to sack the artifact land. It makes the Guardian Kirin a lot bigger, a lot harder to deal with, but it gives us some hope of maybe racing. And like they have to put the counters on the Mere Scrappling then? This opponent has a 5/6 flyer, which is a problem. And they have a Fairground Patrol. Okay. So we untap. We draw Rustvale Bridge. Play Rustvale Bridge. Play Aeromoeba. Pass the turn. No attacks. Opponent untaps. Really hoping they drew a land. If they drew a land, there's some chance that maybe we can get through this. Opponent attacks us in the air for 5. We take 5. And if they drew a Foundry Helix, we're just dead. I was going to say there's a couple of different combat tricks there I think that kill us. Alright, they pass. We untap. We draw Dragon's Rage Channeler. So play the Channeler. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Okay. Opponent blocks. Oh, actually, crap. I should not have done that. Because that completely changes the math. And I only have one flying blocker. Okay, opponent plays a Knighted Mirror. Makes a Thopter. Because now they can get the toughness up to 9, and I can only block with... No, actually I can kill that Kieran, but I have to sack a creature and then double block. So Foundry Helix here. Sacking... It has to be a creature, so the Infiltrator. We get to Surveil. Patchwork Gnomes into the grave, that doesn't help. Problem is I'm not gaining life off this Helix. And I'm about to lose anything I could possibly pressure my opponent with. We block and block. So I need to get like a Chrome Courier to gain life, get another guy. So I have a way to maybe chump this Thopter. I shouldn't have attacked with that Golem. That was a huge, huge mistake. Because if I hadn't attacked with the Golem, I would have been able to block with just the Aeromoeba. Okay. So Dragon's Rage Channeler survives, but is going to have to attack this turn. We untap, we draw a mountain, go to combat, attack for 3. Opponent no blocks, of course. Pass the turn. Make him think we got stuff. There's the Foundry Helix. Alright. Alright, you got me. It's a good deck. Man, multiple Mirror Scrapplings. I didn't really have that many non-creature artifacts, right? So I don't think the Gorilla Shaman actually helps. I guess I'll bring an Angelic Curator here. Protection from artifacts seems good. Might be better than an Aeromoeba, maybe? Try it like that. Alright, play first. Yeah, we'll keep. If there's anything we can do that potentially might beat our opponent in terms of aggression, it's a turn 1 Dragon's Rage Channeler. Lead on Dragon's Rage Channeler, pass the turn. They play Arcbound Mouser, we untap. We draw Kaleidoscorch. Okay. Play an island. Kaleidoscorch. Surveil. Creature into the grave. Go to combat, attack for 1. Opponent plays a Mishra's Factory into another Mouser. We untap and draw another Dragon's Rage Channeler. Play an island. Cycle Flame Blitz. Get another mountain. Play a second Channeler. Pass the turn, no attacks. Opponent plays a Knighted Mirror. Just need to get one more card type into the grave, and any non-creature spell should get us there. Okay, a Lightning Spear is a non-creature spell. Play a mountain. Play a Lightning Spear. Surveil. Rockrick, unfortunately, is going to have to go into the grave. Rustvale Bridge, into the grave. Play the Spear. Equip the Spear. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Well, now we have Kaleidoscorch, and Lightning Spear, and attacking for 7 every turn. We really just need a Plains to play this Angelic Curator to have defense. Unfortunately, we had to throw the Rustvale Bridge into the grave. So opponent is attacking for 5 here. I mean, as long as they don't have a combat trick to put a counter on Knighted Mirror, I don't think they can race. If they do, we could be in trouble. They do, so we could be in trouble. If we draw Plains, we can flashback Kaleidoscorch to kill the Knighted Mirror now. If we don't, we probably have to sack Lightning Spear to kill Knighted Mirror. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Take our opponent to 6. We can either play Aeromoeba. I think we just kill this because 1, 2, 3, 4. They need like land Foundry Helix to actually do anything, and I think this is how we beat that. Play an island, pass the turn. We are representing lethal. We have 2 extra damage. Opponent basically needs a Foundry Helix to kill Dragon's Rage Channeler. And we're still representing lethal. Still representing lethal. We untap. We draw Unholy Heat. Go to combat. Turn it into an artifact. Unless they have Mog Salvage, we've got them. Hit them to 2. Kaleidoscorch for 2. Harmonic Prodigy into the grave. Chrome Courier into the grave. I did that second main because I didn't know if we had enough card types in grave to keep those guys as 3/3s. Well, that worked. Yeah, alright. I think we just run it back. I don't think we make any adjustments. This hand is unbearably slow. I think we have to mulligan. Way better. We'll keep. Put back the Infiltrator. Opponent leads on Plains, Mouser. We lead on Mountain, Dragon's Rage Channeler. Pass the turn. We even have Exile removal to stop Modular from triggering. They play a Fairgrounds Patrol. We untap and draw Aeromoeba. Play an island. Kaleidoscorch. Yeah, I guess... Well, we could Kaleidoscorch the Mouser, actually, because they have nothing to Modular onto. Rustvale Bridge into the grave. Okay, pass the turn. Now if we cast Foundry Helix, we can turn on Dragon's Rage Channeler and win. Okay, Usury is a better use of our time here. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Because Usury risks damaging us. But if we draw another artifact land, we can sack that to Foundry Helix to gain life to make up for the extra damage. My opponent missed a land drop, so I think us drawing extra cards is better here. We can Prismatic Ending Fairgrounds Patrol, which prevents them from gaining a, or getting a Thopter later. I could also just trade here, but that lets them get a Thopter next turn. I think we can beat this race. So they hit us for 4, we go down to 14, we draw an island. Go to combat. Actually, let's just Lightning Helix right now, because this is so much extra damage. We don't gain any life. Mountain to the grave. We do a lot of extra damage. Attack, let's flip 2 coins, say tails. Draw Flame Blitz, take some damage. Play an island, pass the turn. Opponent plays a mountain, gets a tracker. We untap, we draw Rustvale Bridge. Prismatic Ending, kill tracker. Surveil, suspend actually leaving on top. Go to combat. Attack, we're only going to flip 1 coin. Say tails, take damage. Tails, why are you failing us? Play Rustvale Bridge, pass the turn. We're keeping Suspend because Suspend is just another answer to a creature they could equip with gloves. Play Guardian Kieran. We untap, we draw Suspend. So Suspend Kieran, Surveil, Prodigy into the grave, cycle Flame Blitz. We get Subtlety, so we can counter a creature. Attack for 5. Flip a coin. Tails. Take damage. Hit them for 5. Now if we draw a land, we can Kaleidoscorch guarantee victory, even if they just get back a Thopter to block. If they cast a creature, we evoke Subtlety and win that way. Okay. They get a Thopter and a mere Scrapling. Does the Scrapling change anything? The Scrapling does not change anything as far as I can tell. So if we draw a land, we can Kaleidoscorch to kill the Thopter and hit them for 4. Okay, we draw Angelic Curator. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Tails! I've lost so many Tails flips! How is this possible? Opponent chumps, takes 2, goes to 2. Gotta play Curator. Can't flashback Kaleidoscorch for victory. They can equip Vectis Gloves. If they have land, equip Gloves, Foundry Helix, we're dead. And that is possible for them to have. Actually, I have to evoke Subtlety to counter this cast Kieran, because the Kieran gains haste. And while I could chump, this is safer. Evoke Subtlety. Target the Kieran. Okay, they draw a card. They play a land. They equip the gloves. They go to combat. They hit us for 3. They have it. Oh my god. Unfucking believable. I had to lose 5 coin flips to get here. If I won any one of those coin flips, any one, or if I had, instead of flipping 2 coins on the initial flip, flipped only 1 coin, I wouldn't be dead right now. Oh, they sent me a message. They said GG. Well, I'm really salty. Oh my god. It's just, I guess... I mean, when you're in that position, and you lose by losing 6 coin flips, this is just not lucky. You're just plain not lucky. We lost the luck test. There's just lost the luck test. There's no other way to put that. Double Dragon's Rage Channeler, I think we won every game but one that happened, so... Well, if you guys enjoyed this content, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. Remember, you can follow me on Twitch, same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays in the afternoon, evening time. It's a lot of fun, and if you want to know when streams exactly go live, I recommend you join the Discord. Links in the description below. It's a lot of fun there, hanging out with everybody, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to my patrons for the month of August. You guys are wonderful, and I really appreciate your support. It's been helping me make a lot of good content. If you want your name to show up in this list, there's a link to my Patreon in the description down below if you want to support this channel. Thank you so much.